Friends, it is good to have you here. Today we'll be discussing sales psychology. And sales psychology is the grounds for you to know how to guide a prospect to a decision. Sales psychology is understanding humans and understanding how to sell and when to sell and how to continue a sales. And it is very important you pay attention. So bring out your writing materials and jot and listen attentively. It says here that how to guide a prospect to a decision. In the first one, we have why do people buy? Why do people buy? And in true logic, people actually buy with emotion first, then logic second to justify purchase. So let me explain this. There are situations where you buy something and when you get home, you start asking yourself, why did I even buy this in the first place? That is when you start calculating, if I have not have bought this, my money will have been left with 500. If I have not have left bought this, then I would have been able to use this money to do this. What happened there is that at the spur of the moment, you bought with emotion. Then later, you now started thinking. So that is a tool that psychological tool is what we use in sales, because at the spur of the moment of the sales, what people buy is emotion. It is later that they start thinking about the logic, and we can see this happening in our day-to-day life when we go to the market. And when we go to the market, that's why you see some people, whenever they want to go to the market, they are going to write things down. Then when you ask them why you're writing that, they say, so that I will not go to the market and get something else. Because someone will just call you in the market, try and convince you to buy something that was not part of your list, and you get it. Is when you now get home, you now start realizing that you do not need this. This is not something that you actually need. But what just happened? They convince you to buy it, and at the spur of that moment, what happened is that you bought with emotion, not logic. And that is it. Many people buy with emotion first. So what are some of the key things? Some people buy things to save time. So if you are in the market now, you want to sell something to somebody now, for instance, you can sell them something that if they actually buy this thing, they are going to save their time. For example, power bank. Imagine that you are trying to sell a power bank to somebody. You are going to tell them, it is going to save them the time of going to do this, going to do that, going to do this, going to do that. So sometimes you can sell something like that for them. So in a situation where you want to saving money, so you can tell some people that, if they buy this, they will save money. Okay, let me use the power bank example here now, for instance. If let's say for instance you stay in a place that do not really have light, and most times it requires you to go outside to go and charge, or you're always looking for somewhere to charge, and it is always costing you money. They can tell you to buy power bank to save time and to save your money. So you know that you are saving money instead of always looking for how you want to maybe buy generator that you cannot purchase yet. Then you know that you're saving time. That's what you're doing there, is that you're saving time, and you're also saving your money, the money that you continuously invest. And in this same example, we can talk about card purchase. So I think one time someone told me that buying card in bulk, like your data in bulk at the beginning of the month, pays you than buying it little little. And I did not believe. But when I tried it the first time, I was really, I saw that, okay, if I calculated the amount of data that I do in a month, and I bought it in a bulk, and I just saw that I was able to use it very, very well. And it saved me a lot of money, because I know how much, because if I was buying that little by little, I probably would have used more than that. But as I bought it in bulk, I was not able to, do that. So what happened here is that I have saved money. So make money. So that's why you see people will tell you that when you do this, you're going to make money. And in that then I say, okay, let's use this example of scammers, all these MMMs, etc, where they'll tell you that you should bring 10k and collect 100k. So they'll tell you that if you bring 10k, you make money. In that instance, people want to make money. Like, there's a lot of people that want to make money, so a lot of people will buy into that idea, and many people are going to take the risk. That's just the truth. When people see that, oh, they can make more money, what they'll do is that they'll take more risks. That's why I see a lot of people being scammed in such situation. So people actually buy with emotion. When you tell them 100K, they have already envisioned all the things that they will buy with that 100K. And we have solving a problem, we have gaining status, we have feeling secure, we have gaining status. Gaining status can be in terms of trying to feel among, when you want to maybe buy iPhone or buy cars, things that you don't really need. Logically, the money that you used to go and buy car, you could have used it to do a lot of things for yourself. But why? Because you want to gain status, you want to feel among. That is why you bought it. A salesperson job is spotting which motive is active in a specific prospect, not repeating the same pitch to anyone. So it is very important that whatever industry that you are working in later, it is very important that you are able to spot it. You are spot it in this kind of situation. This product, if I'm to sell it to this person, am I going to save time for the person? Are they going to make more money? In a situation where I want to sell maybe a website to a particular person now, what is going to happen to them is that they are going to be saving time by responding, instead of them always responding to DMs on WhatsApp or calls, everything. People can just go to their websites to order directly, see what they are having. So, and again, they are saving money. They are saving a lot of money. And again, they'll be making more money because in that case, a lot of people can be able to reach them via Google and order their product. What will happen is that there will be an increase in sales. So what we have done for that kind of person is that we have solved their problem. So it is very important that you understand, you notice, you spot the motive so that you'll be able to sell very well. So we now have features, benefits, and outcome. Most beginners get stuck at features. This is where they learn to sell the outcome. I think I have emphasized this so much that in sales, what we sell is the outcome, not the features, not the benefits, the outcome. And a lot of people get stuck in the outcome. I think I said it in one of our classes that a lot of people get stuck in the outcome, in the features. What you are supposed to sell is the outcome. So what it does, this website loads in under 2 seconds. Benefit, what that means for them, customers would leave before it loads. But what is the outcome? How they would feel. That is it, how they would feel, what it will do for them, what it will change for them, what value will it bring. All those kind of things are the outcome, and that is exactly what you should sell, not the features. Don't say it's going to have 4 layouts or this thing. Don't sell those things. The thing you need to sell in a sales is the outcome. If you focus more on the features, they might not really see what it will do for them. They'll focus on all the attributes and things that matters. But that is not why you want to sell, because if you want to close a sale, you know, to make them see what it will change for them. So you feel confident sending it to any client. So imagine you want to buy something from a client, and the client, imagine you want to buy something from a client, and the client sends you a website. There is this status that people attach to having a website. There is this particular status. People feel like, I think this person is on Google, so that means they are this, that means they are that. It's kind of up you in the minds of your client. So, understanding your prospects. Now, the 6 motives get narrowed down to one specific person. Their pain point, what they truly want, their fear of making the wrong decision, their decision triggers, their buyer's personality. Now, their pain point. What is their pain point? Currently, they are not selling. Currently, they're having low sales. Currently, they're having low visibility. Currently, they are battling with how to charge their phone. Currently, they don't have generator. Currently, they are having some kind of... What is their pain point? That is their pain point. What they truly want. What they truly want is what you want to come and give them. What they truly want right now. So let me give you an example of this thing. So let's say this person pain point is that they are struggling, they need money, they don't have money, they are suffering, there is a lot of poverty going on. That is their pain point. They just need money, they need money urgently. If in that moment you come and tell them, you know that what they truly want now is money, because their pain point is that they are struggling, they really need money to sort some bills, and you know that what they truly want is money. What you now bring to them is money, because that is what they truly want. So now let's bring money in form of loan. Let's say we want to give them loan right now. So now we have identified their pain points. We have understand what they truly want and their fear of making the wrong decision. So we will now be telling them, then you now explain to them and guide them through the process of making the decision of why they actually need that loan. And then, tracing it down to their pain point. You can tell them that if you don't get this money now, this is what is going to happen. This person might come and fight you. They might embarrass you. They might disgrace you. You see what you are doing there? So you are trying to paint it in a way that if they do not get this loan, they are making the wrong decision. So their decision triggers, you are going to start using their decision triggers. You are going to start triggering their decision with all the things that would happen if they actually take the loan. What will happen? They might save face. They might save face. They might save status. They might save all these things. These are things that might happen. Then the buyer personality. So for the next one here, we are talking about the psychology in outreach. This is very, very important because I intentionally put this here because the psychology in outreach is different. So where all of it gets applied in real life in a real message. Why message gets ignored? The first impression feels generic or salesy. I think I have said it in one of our live sessions. Do not appear to be selling in the first few seconds. And I said it in the class that we had in the last class that before you sell, you should get to the CTA first. In the first few seconds, people have decided if they want to listen to what you have to say, and that is where you need to have a good hook to grab their attention. In that first few seconds, what you are trying to do is that you're not trying to sell. You're not trying to be generic. You are trying to be specific, and you are trying to what? First of all, what I gave you a template. I said, first, you have to understand their problem. Second, you need to know if your solution fits in to solve their current problem. You have to understand their problem. You know if your solution can actually solve their problem. That means if it fits into solving their current problem. Now that you have know this information, now you are going to now send a message because now that you understand you have gone through their page or whatever, now you understand them, you are going to send them a specific message with a very good hook, something that makes them want to say, I want to continue listening. And that is why in the last previous 2 classes, I gave you an assignment where I told you to look for someone who is posting online and who is complaining about low sales. There are people that come online to complain about low sales. If you see them complaining about low sales, what's that? That is just like something that tells you that this person actually needs a solution to increase their sales. And that's why I said when you said hello and they say hello, the next thing you should say is that what if I can show you a way to actually skyrocket your sales right now? Would you be willing to listen? Because this solution tallies with the current problem, what is happening? They would want to listen. And that is it. In that first few 7 seconds, they would decide if they want to listen to you or not. So don't let your message be generic. That is why I emphasize understanding before you reach out. Understand before you reach out, because if you do not understand, you are just deceiving yourself. You are just sending general message to everybody, and by the time they answer you, you'll not be able to state anything different specifically to any of them, and that is a problem. So the next one is personalization versus copy and paste. Speaking to the specific person, not everyone at a time. Personalize and not copy and paste. This is very important. Some people send the same outreach to everybody. It can be similar. It doesn't have to be. The first hook can be the same. But in the continuous conversation, if it is not personalized, then people will start asking you, how do you know? That is why I said in sales, you need to ask questions. You need to ask questions. It is very, very important that you do ask questions so that you can understand, because sometimes it can just be what you see online. You don't understand what is going behind the scene and you'll not be able to sell properly. Okay, so this class would be splitted into 2. This is part 1 and we are going to end it here. So we'll continue in part 2. See you in part 2. Don't forget to like, and if you have not still subscribed, please do subscribe and drop your question for this part here. Thank you.